Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast Sports Edition. Tonight, we're going to cover the James Harden trade. We're also going to talk about sports analyst Ryan Clark's emotional rant about the Vikings' former GM, KWESI ADOFO MENSAH. And we will finish the show with a short story of boxer John L. Sullivan, one of the first American heavyweight champions, and his refusal to fight black boxers. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. Welcome to Wednesday Night Sports. Step on in, come get you some flavor. Coffee Talk Podcast. What it do, y'all? I cannot front. I'm over here rushing a little bit, but I'm gonna slow it down and get on tack like we do around this time. But how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How is your Wednesday? Some of y'all call it hump day. It's the middle of the week. I get it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But look, we're going to do this on a scale of 1 through 5. If you was having a great day, man, go ahead and put a 5 in the comments today. Let me know how your day went. If you had an okay day, a cool day, a chill day, go ahead and put a 4 in there. If you had a great day, put a 5. But if you had a okay day, a chill day, put a 4 in there. You know what I mean? Let me know how your day went. If it was okay, you know what I'm saying, could have been better, but it wasn't worse, go ahead and throw a 3 in there. And if you had a bad day and you feel like you want to just try again, go ahead and leave a 2. And if you had a bad day and you need somebody to talk to, don't even put anything unless you want to. You can put a 1, or otherwise you can just DM us here at Coffee Talk Podcast, and we'll be happy to just be a listening ear if you didn't have a great day today. You know what I'm talking about? Because Coffee Talk Podcast, one of the things we do here, and I don't want to get into a long speech of this, is that we do believe in mental health, as also just getting ourselves healthy. So Coffee Talk Podcast supports that. We also support reading, literature. We support our culture. So that's what we on tonight. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little bit off, man. I'm ahead as far as our scripts for tonight. We got a great show lined up, but I had to do some running around prior to the show tonight, and so just a little tidbit off. But let's go ahead and jump into the show. If this is your first time tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast, this is a 3 days a week cultural variety podcast show, and on Sunday, Monday nights, we love to give you something different. We love to bring you home. We call that Cultural Studies Night. And so we will talk about short stories. We will talk about our people, our ancestors, our doctors, our lawyers, our poets, our scholars. We would give much props to them on Sunday, Monday night. So definitely tune in if you want to hear some poems, some short stories, or a little bit this, a little bit of that, but a lot of it to uplift and motivate us and our culture. You know what I'm saying? Wednesday nights, we offer sports. So welcome. We're here tonight for our sports night. But we don't care about who won or lost a game. I want to tell you that up front. We like to talk about the different intricacies that goes on in the world of sports, especially dealing with our people. You know what I'm talking about? And then on Friday, Saturday, that's what we call grown folks social hour. And we like to have fun, play games like 5-question, 10-question Q&A, where we like to just have fun, be grown-ups that's in a lounge hanging out, and just talking how we talk when we all come together on the weekend. So definitely, if you're interested, check that out. We have something in store for a little bit of everybody. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, again, I want to welcome you to Sports Night. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, and I am your host, Mashuma Saba M. Saba, and this is the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. How you like that? So let's go ahead and jump right in it. We never. Thank you, audience. Thank you. We never start a show without giving you its flavor as well as the wise words. So tonight's flavor is beet juice. That's right, beet juice. Beet juice with ginger. Why beet juice with ginger? I'll give you 3 reasons why. How about I give you 3 benefits of what it does for you? Let's go. Beet juice with ginger. And you can get these at, a lot of wholesale stores, such as, health stores, the little markets out there in our communities. But beet juice with ginger, the 3 benefits that it offers you is it improves your cardiovascular function. It also enhances your athletic performance. That's right, fellas. It enhances, I should say, your athletic performance. You know what it does? It helps you get oxygen efficiency. It helps with stamina, and it also reduces fatigue. So those are the second category of benefits that beet juice with ginger offers. And then lastly, it soothes your stomach. It soothes your stomach, and most importantly, it reduces your blood vessels. So tonight's flavor is beet juice with ginger. But if you're not sipping on that, go ahead and let me know what you're sipping on. I don't care if it's some water, some wine, a smoothie, some coffee, a latte, a beer, whatever you do. Just make sure that when you come on in and hang out with us here at Coffee Talk Podcast, make sure you kick your feet up, relax, and have a good time. How about that? All right, let's go ahead and move right along. My wise words for tonight come from a legend. This guy had 1,332 games that he won as a head coach. He coached from 1969 to 2005. He was born October 28th, 1937, and he hails from Brooklyn, New York. Tonight's wise words come from no other than Coach Lenny Wilkens. And if you never heard of Lenny Wilkens, let me just give you a backdrop. Yeah, Lenny Wilkens, one of our own. Let me just give you a backdrop on Lenny Wilkens. Lenny Wilkens coached for the Seattle Supersonics, the Portland Trail Blazers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Atlanta Hawks, Toronto Raptors, and the New York Knicks. So tonight's wise words is from Lenny Wilkens. Let me go ahead and get that ready for you. Just give me one moment. All right, give me one moment. I just want to make sure I have the quote. Give me one moment. I got to apologize because I had the quote right here, and I have one right here, but it's not the one that I wanted to give you tonight. But here it goes. Give me one moment. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and grab the quote by Lenny Wilkins. I apologize. I didn't have it ready when I did have it ready, but that's here nor there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you with a 30-second commercial break. And when I get back, make sure you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that Coffee Talk Podcast is on. And we'd like for you to chime on in and catch us tonight for Wednesday Night Sports. I'll see you in about 30 seconds. All right. Thank you. We're back. This is Coffee Talk Podcast Sports Edition Wednesday night, and we are preparing for our Wednesday Wise Words by Coach Lenny Wilkins. So here we go. If I put them out there, and he's talking about accountability and effort, by the way. If I put them out there and they don't get back on defense, they are coming out of the game. If they are selfish, they're coming out. I treat them like men, and I expect them to respond like men. So what the coach is talking about is accountability, y'all. It's something that is like a sickness amongst our sports, because we want to blame everybody except for the role that we have to participate in for the team to become successful. So, that is the quote of the night by Coach Lenny Wilkins. All right. Enough of that. Let me go ahead and jump right into the show. And I do apologize, man. I'm just slightly off tonight, but I got it. You can tell. You can hear the professionalism in me. You know what I mean? Y'all support us. So, let's go ahead and talk about it. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and dive in. And the first thing we're going to talk about is James Harden. That's right, man. James Harden got traded this week from the LA Clippers over to the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. And what is this? His sixth time being traded. It's like the guy gets traded every 2-3 years, And I just want to give you my thoughts on James Harden, man. I believe that he's an unbelievable player. He averages well over 20 points, 21 points a game, and he gives you 8 assists. However, he's a diva, man. And like I was telling a friend of mine today, I'm glad that my Minnesota Timberwolves didn't go after James Harden. I mean, could you see that, y'all? That would just be crazy. If we had James Harden, the ball would stall because, he has to take 20 dribbles to think about taking one shot or traveling before he takes his shot. He would slow down our momentum. We're a team that's up and down, you know what I mean? Ant-Man likes to go downhill when he gets the ball, you know what I mean? And he's our focal point. It wouldn't have worked. So I applaud the Minnesota Timberwolves organization for not going after James Harden, man. Can James Harden put up points, give you a lot of points? Absolutely. He's a superstar. You know what I mean? But he doesn't play defense. He's 37 years old, and he dribbles too much. You know what I mean? So word is that James Harden asked to leave the LA Clippers because he wasn't promised an extension, and he's 37 already. So imagine giving somebody a 3-year extension, 38, 39, 40 years old at the point guard spot. Some people forecast that this could be his last year or two being productive. So, why take that risk? of paying a man 50, 60, 70 million dollars. You know, it's big money in the NBA. These brothers now are averaging 40 to 50,000 if you're a top tier player, such as James Harden is. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So James Harden was at the LA Clippers, and he was there just a short period, almost made 3 years, but he was there from 2023 to February of the 25th, 26th season, which is this year. He just got traded about 2 days ago. While playing for the LA Clippers, he averaged 21 points, 8 assists per game. Again, those are great numbers from the point guard spot. But like my boy Gilbert Arenas says, and the guys over there, they'll say, well, how much points are you giving up? And I remember they made that reference about Luka Doncic, who I have a love-hate relationship for, and we'll probably talk about him another time. I don't think that he should have been starting over Ant-Man as far as for the upcoming All-Star game. But, you know, that's here nor there. James Harden now joins the Cleveland Cavaliers, who sits in the 5th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 30 wins, 21 losses. Out of their last 10 games, they won 8 out of their last 10 games, you know. So he is in position to make noise out the East. He's in position to make noise out the East by joining this Cleveland Cavaliers. But can he make the changes? Is he going to be able to adapt? Is him and Donovan Spider-Man Mitchell going to be able to work together in that backcourt? That's what's yet to be seen. And so we will see that in the next few weeks after the All-Star break. You know, I think All-Star break's coming up this month, you know, so we'll see how the ball gets to rolling with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I want to ask you, my supporters, what do y'all think about that? What do you think about James Harden going over to the Cleveland Cavaliers? Do you think that's going to work? Do you think he can play along with Donovan Mitchell? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are. And by the way, while you're there, make sure you hit the like button. Show a brother some love. Make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you seeing us tonight. We are live on YouTube right now. We also are live on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We getting over there. You know what I mean? We getting over there. We know y'all's big. We'll be over there soon. But yeah, go ahead and leave me your thoughts on James Harden. Do you think James Harden's a first-time ballot Hall of Famer? Go ahead and leave that in the comments as well. And do you think that the Clippers are crazy to let him go? I mean, him and Kawhi was really getting back in the groove of things, you know? So they went on that little win streak prior to James Harden getting traded over there to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So go ahead and let us know. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, Wednesday night sports. And that's James Harden. All right. Next. And this one's been bothering me a little bit, and I just want to come and bring some light to it. But, you know, sports analyst Ryan Clark, he has a show called The Pivot. He also appears on ESPN, you know, and that's no diss to neither one of those shows. This is not a diss remark. However, as a big brother and also as a content creator and a sports analysis, I want to hold him in accountability and responsibility for the verbiage he used about KWESI MENSAH, who is the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, being let go. And I just want to say this to Ryan Clark, that I know that, you know, you talk sports with that old medias, you know, and you have to say things a certain way. But I truly, as one black man to another, felt offended that you would try to use, quote unquote, and this is just me speaking, the race card towards the Minnesota Vikings organization and pertaining to KWESI being let go as a general manager of the Minnesota Vikings. I think that was wrong. And I want to update my supporters to what you said. So let's go ahead and talk about what Ryan Clark said pertaining to the firing of KWESI ADOFO MENSAH. Ryan Clark stated, the league preaches diversity, but hesitates to trust Black leadership. We all know he'd keep his job if he was a different color. That's what I thought. And this is alleged, but it's reported that this is what was said. And, you know, I love my culture. If you know me personally, people will tell you, man, that that brother loves his culture. He speaks highly of his culture. He holds his culture accountable at times of need. He uplifts his culture. He empowers his culture. He's out there in the community giving back. But yeah, in this situation, I just feel like you're wrong, Ryan, for pulling that. Everything don't got to be race related. And I don't know if it's the shows that you sit on, if they're edging you guys on, you and that other guy that you know, I ain't gonna say names, but you and that other guy that talks sports over there to do the race baiting. I remember a time in sports when sports was just that. But for the last 8 to 10 years, man, I've been turned off by sports. I've been turned off ever since Kaepernick is who I'm speaking of. You know who I'm speaking of. I've been turned off because it went from being fun and being sport to being political, controversial, and race baiting. And that's what these sports shows seem to be. And this is one of the reasons why here at Coffee Talk Podcast, our producers here, our writers here, we decided to go ahead and create a Wednesday night sports show where people can just hear sports again. In real topics while we're discussing them. It's good to have fun talking about sports. But we felt that we wanted to put the extra niche into also paying homage to our athletes. Because in these last 10 years, we've been so sick and tired of hearing everything bad about our athletes. Like, do you guys ever congratulate anybody outside of Michael Jordan? And then when you do get good athletes that did well, Kobe Bryant, you bash him. LeBron, who does a lot of wonderful work in the communities outside of just being LeBron playing basketball, and you bash him. I mean, come on. One of your sports analysis talked about his son to the point that it wasn't even about basketball anymore when he was speaking it. I would have loved to have been on your set that day where I can debate that guy. You know, he likes to use the big words and all that. And he feels like other people don't know big words or have a high vocabulary or word count or are linguistic. But I would love to sit down with that guy. But Ryan Clark, you should be ashamed of yourself, man, because every time a black coach, a black GM gets let go, here you come tagging along wanting to race bait. And I get it. I know you love your culture, brother, but that puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth that wants to just sit back and hear some great sports stories, some great analysts. You know what I mean? They just want to hear it where it's about peace and they can just enjoy the game. Sports used to be a family show not too long ago. Now you even wonder if you want your kids watching it because all you guys do is hype up who's not good. And as soon as somebody uses the blood, sweat, and tears and the practices to overcome adversity to get to the playoffs, to go through the playoffs deep, get to the championship, and then win, you celebrate it for 24 hours, then it's back. Can they do it again? And this is why the ratings are dropping in a lot of these sports. We haven't even had the parade yet, and you're already hating on the guys, whoever it may be, or whoever it may be, male or female. So I just wanted to go ahead and just say that to you, Ryan Clark, if you're watching our show. And if you are watching our show, we appreciate that. But I want to say it one more time. I just want to read it how I got it. And yes, I can say allegedly. But it says, Ryan Clark, and this is his thoughts on the firing of KWESI ADOFO MENSAH. Now, mind you, I'll get in that in a second. Let me go ahead and just talk about allegedly what you said. Ryan Clark says, this league preaches diversity, but hesitates to trust black leadership. We all know he'd keep his job if he was a different color. That sounds like race baiting, man. The ignorant stuff that's in sports today. It's not fun anymore. Let's go ahead and talk about KWESI. Now, KWESI is one of those analyst guys. The Minnesota Vikings went ahead and recruited him from the Cleveland Browns January 26, 2022. And he stayed with the Minnesota Vikings from that January 2022 through February 2026. KWESI attended Princeton College. He was former vice president of the Cleveland Browns football operations. And after having Sam Darnold and watching his Minnesota Vikings go to what, 14-3 last year? 14-4, 14-3. This year, they finished 9-8. So they did finish one game over 500. You can call that a winning season. But they finished third in the they didn't make the playoffs. KWESI was born October 12th, 1981, out of New Jersey. And I'm happy he got fired. I wouldn't say it like that. Okay, let me take that back. I wouldn't say I'm happy anybody gets fired. You know, you need a job to feed your family. I totally agree. Apologize. But if we're and may he land on his feet somewhere else. But as far as what we speaking about, and that's sports, and sports can be, you know, dirty. It can be accountable. It can be, you know, you got to do your job. They gave you 4 years. The Whiffs gave you 4 years. Yeah, we had some winning seasons. However, under your watch, you haven't had a Pro Bowler in the 4 years you was at Minnesota. Which states that your decision making as far as player selection is not great. You haven't had a Pro Bowler in 4 years. Okay, Justin Jefferson. And thank you for that. And if I'm correct, Did you even draft Justin Jefferson? Somebody go ahead and leave that in the comments. Let us know if KWESI, ADOFO, MENSAH drafted Justin Jefferson, or was Justin Jefferson already on the Minnesota Vikings prior to KWESI getting the job as general manager of the Minnesota Vikings? Again, this is Coffee Talk Podcast. This is our sports night, and so that's what we're talking about here. So what's your thoughts on Ryan Clark? You know, again, he's on the show The Pivot, which I tend to like, and he's also on ESPN. Man, go ahead and leave a comment. Drop that comment. Let us know what your thoughts are tonight on Ryan Clark's statement. And again, I'll say it one more time for our viewership. But Ryan Clark is allegedly stated as saying, this league preaches diversity, but hesitates to trust black leadership. We all know he'd keep his job. Speaking of KWESI. We all know he'd keep his job if he was a different color. Go ahead and let us know what your thoughts are on that. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. This is our Wednesday night sports. All right. Thank you for being here with us, tuning in. Again, this is Coffee Talk Podcast. If this ain't your night, we'll see you on Sunday, Monday nights where we do cultural studies. We'll see you on Friday, Saturday nights where we also offer Grown Folks Social Hour. And if you like sports, I see you. Thank you for being here. All right. So to finish off our show for tonight, we love to go ahead and give you a short story, especially because it's Black History Month, but we do this anyway. You know what I mean? We do this anyway. We love to empower literature. We love to empower people reading, building their vocabulary, creating their mental exercise so they can develop critical thinking. And we're just proud of our culture. You know what I'm talking about? So let's go ahead. We're going to dive into this book by author Jeffrey C. Stewart. It's titled 1001 Things Everyone Should Know About African American History. Tonight, we'll be talking about white boxers who refuse to fight African Americans. And this particular boxer, this story is about John L. Sullivan. He was a European boxer. He was one of their first heavyweight champions back in 1889. And he refused to fight African fighters. So again, this is a short story. It don't last no longer than 3 minutes. So please bear with us. Hear a wonderful story about our people and what was going on during that time, dealing with people such as John Sullivan and boxing as a whole and sports. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good read overall. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right. White boxers refused to fight African Americans. It was difficult for African American boxers to challenge for titles against white boxers. John L. Sullivan, one of the country's first national sports heroes and the world heavyweight champion in 1889, for example, refused to fight against black boxers. I would not fight a Negro. I never have, and I never shall. John Sullivan's refusal to fight black boxers was supported by many in the white sports community. Charles Dana, an influential sports editor writing for the New York Sun, decried the rise of African Americans in boxing and warned that unless others follow Sullivan's example, blacks would soon dominate the sport. These are his words. Charles Dana said, "We are in the midst of a growing menace. The black man is rapidly forging to the front ranks in athletics, especially in the field of fisticuffs. We are in the midst of a black rise against white supremacy. There are two Negroes in the ring today who can thrash any white man breathing in their respective classes, George Dixon and Joe Jersey Joe Wilcott. What America needs now is another John L. Sullivan. Wake up, you purgalists of the white race. Are you going to permit yourself to be passed by the black race? This is the short story of white boxers refusing to fight African Americans. So, what was your thoughts on that tonight? Go ahead and leave a comment. You know, when I first read Charles Dana's part, it took me back to a sports analyst guy who was one of my sports analysts, Jimmy the Greek. And young people, look that up. Look Jimmy the Greek's speech up on YouTube. It should be there. But Jimmy the Greek had made a similar statement, and he caught a lot of slack for it because he was drunk the night he made that statement. But Jimmy the Greek is a brilliant guy, great sports analysis, that his marbles was aware of how he was speaking. And maybe whatever he was drinking allegedly gave him that liquid courage. But Jimmy's Italian, he had that bravado of a sports analysis. Great guy. Yet he went ahead and made that same comment that Charles Dana did, and so he was let go in sports. You know. But what is your thoughts on white boxers refusing to fight African Americans? What is your thought about the Great White Hope? And can you name a Great White Hope in any sport? The Great White Hope is a name that came about from a boxer by the name of Jerry Cooney as he prepared to fight heavyweight champion Larry Holmes. I want to say that was back in what, 82, 78, 82, 84 would be my guess. Put it in the comments if you know. So white supremacy always has to have some great white hope. Attraction, they like to say, to put into the sport. And I can recall just 10, 15 years ago, I started to notice, I'm like, wow, man, there's starting to be a lot of European champions in boxing. You know, I was surprised at the belt. There wasn't no heavyweight champion for a minute until the Brown Bomber, what's his name? Go ahead and leave a comment to let me know who I'm talking about. You know, he's getting ready to fight Alexander Usyk soon. The boy's out of Alabama. I can't think of his name right now. I think it starts with a D. But anyway, you know, there hasn't been a heavyweight belt in America in a while in the heavyweight division. And as you know, boxing goes the way of the heavyweights. Even though we know we love these 135 pounders, 140 pounders, 147 to 154s, 164s. And I'm talking about weight here, people, if you don't know boxing. But boxing goes the way of the heavyweight, you know. So go ahead and let me know how the story went. If you want to say what's up to me, go ahead and leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for supporting the show. This has been our Wednesday night sports coverage. And like I tell you, we don't care about who won or lost a game. We love to talk about the different intricacies that goes on in the world of sports that happen to do with our people. You know what I mean? So until next time, I'm going to hit you with the universal peace sign. And I'd like to tell you, thank you for supporting Coffee Talk Podcast Wednesday Night Sports. It's been my pleasure. Thank you. Peace. We'll see y'all this weekend. Roll it up, light it up, smoke it. See you soon. Peace.